Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel CrackZat, turning problems into solutions. This is me Priyasha Das, and today I am up with one of the most sought after questions in the previous live. So if you guys are planning to start your ZAT preparation right now, then what are the most important topics you should get started with? What will benefit you more, irrespective of the fact whether you gave CAT or not? This is going to be applicable on every single person, so be rest assured. Yeah, the only difference is that if you are already good at a particular topic, you can do less number of questions as a practice, but if you are new to that topic, you can practice a little more than the others. So let's get started. I will be covering up all the sections, guys, starting with the one which is of course the most dreaded, and that is the quant section. Okay, so for the quants, I want to tell you that there are a couple of websites on internet which will show you that the weightage of a particular section in a particular exam, what were the topics, which topics had more questions, blah blah blah. But I'll give you one major myth. So before I tell you the weightage or anything like that, I want to bust a myth, and that myth is that this particular question is from numbers. This particular question is from A, B, C. These are all wrong. If you technically analyze any one question of quant, you would see that at least, yes, you heard me right, at least two topics are definitely intertwined in that question. And I myself confirmed it with the professors at my college as well, and they clearly confirmed to it that yeah, a particular question is not just only from numbers, it can have traces of algebra. It's not purely a geometry question, it will involve a bit of ratio and let's say averages knowledge of yours as well. So therefore the questions are mostly intertwined. Don't go by the say that a particular website is saying that in they gave 7 questions from number theory only, or they gave 8 questions from algebra only. Nothing like that. What you have to do is you have to start with the questions which generally come across, like both included, in even intertwined. But I have a different strategy for you as well. So instead of starting with what is more generally asked, you should actually start with what will help you to fetch more marks. And you remember that the quant section comes with the DI section in ZAT, and therefore you have to do something which will help you in both the circumstances. So let's take a look. What can we do here is we can start with the topics like uh, modern maths. Yes, you heard me right. You must be saying that kya kara rahe ho, ma'am? Like, what is modern maths? Why would we start with modern maths? See, the reason why I'm asking you to start with modern maths is that modern maths has concepts like PNC, that is permutation and combination. It has topics like probability, okay, which you definitely should get started with. The reason is that agar aap isko pad lete ho, it will not only help you in direct 1-2 questions of quant, but will also help you indirectly a lot in the DI questions. So that means studying this topic will assure you at least 4 marks for sure. Similarly, there are more topics in modern maths, but when we come to the most important with which you should start with, I would recommend these. Then you can also start with something like ratio, averages. Okay, these are some concepts like percentages which will really help you to work in DI as well as direct questions in the quant. So make sure you target these topics first. So dedicate your first 2 weeks of preparation for these topics alone, and then get down to the different topics as such, like very dedicated topics. Now coming to the dedicated topics, before starting with TSD or TNW, which is very generally asked. Okay, by TSD I mean time, speed, distance, and TNW means time and work. Now these two topics are definitely asked in the question paper, so you can definitely work on it. Okay, a must in all the papers, not just in ZAT. But then the thing is that if you really want to work well in the quant section, you can actually go for geometry, because geometry in ZAT is more like formula based questions. So if you remember the formulas pretty well, you would be able to really easily answer the questions of ZAT quants based on geometry. So please try to target geometry. If you're someone who is slightly afraid of quants, please go and target geometry as a major topic after you're done with these basic tiny beats. Then you should move, of course, to the other remaining topics, like topics of numbers system, which is HCF, LCM, remainder. I'm not writing, these are all topics you will find in any content list of the books. Okay, remainder theorem is asked, but not very very commonly, so you can even skip that if you want. Then you can go for profit and loss for sure. PNL is definitely asked. Functions is one fixed question, and trigo is one fixed question. So these are very easy basic. That means if you do the examples of these topics also, or if you have time, then 10 questions from LOD1, then that will be more than sufficient to answer one question from the paper itself. Okay, so function trigonometry is something which generally people don't practice, so you have a upper hand in it if you even practice 10 to 20 questions of LOD1 and some examples. Then of course you should try out for simple interest, compound interest. Okay, then I hope that when I say time and work, you guys will be covering boats and pipes and cisterns in that only, because it's a subtopic of that itself. Clocks, calendars are slightly logical in terms, but you can still think of giving your time to it. Coordinate geometry is something they do ask, okay, one question, but this is again not very important, so writing it afterwards. All right, then of course log, one question you can definitely expect, and again log will also fall in this category, where you can just do the examples and few questions of LOD1. That will be more than enough for you to practice on. Set theory is also which they do give, and set theory is actually something which can also be asked as a part of DI, so make sure you work on that. Okay, this is again a very important thing, and would be only done with the help of examples and LOD1, just like I said. Okay, that will also be sufficient for it. Then you have something called as inequalities, which will definitely come as one of the questions for sure, but then if you are really not understanding it, you can skip it. Also, one last thing which I forgot to mention was series and progressions, like APGP series. Okay, you should study those things. Again, the same thing for APGP also, you don't have to do a lot of practice. You can even just practice for like 10 to 20 LOD1 questions and a couple of bunch of examples. That will be more than enough for you to remember the formula and stuff. So I think this is more than enough for you people to start with. Starting with this, you can back out all these topics which I wrote on the screen, would really be helpful for you in the quant section. Now coming to the verbal section, guys, we all know that verbal section is really important for the XAT examination, and for that you have to start with one and only critical reasoning. अगर आपको सचमुच इसमें ज़्यादा marks उठाने हैं, then you have to make sure that your critical reasoning is doing great. And if you guys need practice material for critical reasoning, then the best thing you can get started with is the GMAT Critical Reasoning Bible. Okay, you can find that on my Telegram group. So there in the bio you will find a mega drive. How to open that, the steps are being added in the group itself. Please open that and go to the verbal folder, and there you will find this PDF right there. So please download it and start practicing from it. Critical reasoning is something which will really help you. But then before practicing, I would suggest you to watch some 30 minutes of my video. There are different videos on critical reasoning basics, and you will find that like what is assumption, what is conclusion, how is course and action different from this, what is assumption, what is assertion. All these differences would be very clearly defined in my 10 to 20 minutes long videos, small 10 to 15 minutes long videos. So please dedicate around 30-40 minutes to watch those videos first, so that your basics are clear, and then you can start practicing from this. These videos you can find on my verbal playlist, or also you can find it on my QRS, that is quick revision sheet. I'll be tagging these links in my pinned comment and description box, so please refer to that as well. And after you're done with critical reasoning, you are actually ready with a couple of questions, like let's say RC के लिए भी आप prepared हो and personal questions के लिए भी आप prepared हो. So at that point of time, you are really assuring a very good double digit marks for yourself in verbal section. But then apart from that, you have to every day read some articles which I'll be suggesting you in my Telegram newspaper group. And also I would be recommending you people to solve some particular RCs a day. And whatever RCs I find important, I'll be sharing it in the discussion group, so make sure you follow that as well. Apart from that, grammar is something which is troubling most of you, and you people are literally afraid of it. So therefore, for grammar, I would be listing down few important things which you need to focus on. First, starting off with fill in the blanks. Okay, FIB is something really important for them, and those fill in the blanks questions are always rotating around verbs, tenses. Okay, So, and prepositions. So make sure you're doing these tiny basic stuff. I have planned to conduct a workshop, so that will be a 2-3 days workshop for the grammar part of the ZAT examination. So make sure you follow the channel. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, guys, please go and hit it so that you get notified of all the upcoming videos for these coming 40 days. Make sure that you do that, because this channel is gonna rock in the next 40 days, okay? And then the most important thing, which will be error detection and sentence completion. These are some things which you need to really focus on. Sentence completion is more towards sentence completion, and para jumbles are like very similar to the cat pattern only, so you will not have a very difficult time if you have already practiced it for cat. But then when it comes to error detection, this is something which really takes the mind off. But again, this errors are generally around the verbs, prepositions, tenses and things like that. So if we work on our basics, we can clear that. And I think that I will be conducting a workshop very soon on this, and would be giving you ample of practice material. 10 questions every day from that practice material can really yield you better results in your verbal. Okay, so I think I've covered up for verbal. And finally, last but not the least, we have our favorite DM. Okay, so I have told you people in the live session as well that I expect all of you to do at least one DM set every day. But when I say I expect you to do a DM set, I don't expect you to read out the answers after you're done with it. Rather, I want you to make a proper notebook. Either type it out in your computer or wherever you are practicing it, or at least keep a notebook where you write down that why, what are the keywords which are supporting a particular option. Let's say option A is correct, then what are the keywords which are supporting this? What are the keywords because of which you eliminated option B, and things like that. Okay, so if you write down these things, after a couple of 50 questions, you would see that you have seen a general trend around the questions. What should you do when these keywords are there in the decision making paper? And this is really going to help you a lot in improving your marks in the DM section. And if you're already scoring good, then consistently maintaining that as well. So that was all for this video, guys. I have told all the important topics, and if you have any related queries to it, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. If there is anything I can help you personally with, please drop me a message on Instagram. For that, you have to first follow me and then drop a message over there. I hope this video is useful. Please hit that like button, because your likes and shares do help the channel a lot, guys. This is completely non-profit and free of cost. So make sure you show your love and support by commenting below, liking this video and sharing it with more and more people. Thank you so much and all the very best, guys. आपको motivated रखना और पढ़ाना मेरी responsibility है. Love you all. Take care. All the best.